as I'm training demon slayers and warriors for Christ, it occurs to me that there's no training or gift greater than what Jesus has already given us. He's already given us and empowered us as warriors with gifts. He gave us 9 gifts. And in 1 Corinthians 12, it talks about those gifts. 1 Corinthians 12:1 says, "Now concerning the spiritual gifts, I do not want you to be ignorant." Ignorant. That means unknowing. He does not want you to be ignorant of the gifts. Why? Because if you are ignorant of the gifts and you're not using the gifts, you're not as powerful in the spiritual war that we're in. And we are in a war. That's what my channel is all about. That's what my life is all about. So, and that if you're subscribed to this channel, it's because that's what you're all about. You want to be about the Lord's business, the Great Commission. You want to take Jesus at his word and you want to make him proud. You want him to look at you the way he looked at Caleb and said, "My wholehearted servant. He serves me wholeheartedly." And the way he looked at Stephen, when Stephen worked to the very end, even though he was persecuted and unto death. And we want to be like Jesus. He's our ultimate goal. He was perfect. And we're called in Ephesians chapter 5, 1-2, imitate God, walking in the way of love, following the example of Christ. So we want to be like Christ. We want to be like Jesus. We're called to do that. How are we going to do that if we don't use the gifts he's given us? So let's look at this word ignorant just for a minute. In the Greek word ignorant that's used in that verse, 1 Corinthians 12:1, it means to not perceive or recognize, to not know, to fail to understand, to be ignorant or uninformed. You don't want to be like that, and God doesn't want you to be. He actually doesn't give advice. He actually gives a command right there. Do not be ignorant. He doesn't say, it's not a good idea to be ignorant. He doesn't give you like an option, really. If you're going to obey his word and abide in him, he says, don't be ignorant of these gifts. They're really important. So let's look at the gifts. The first one, gift of wisdom. Second, gift of knowledge. Third, the gift of faith. The gifts of healing, the working of miracles, the gift of prophecy, the distinguishing between spirits, various types of tongues, and the interpretation of tongues. So these are things that we can ask the Lord for, and he will give them to us. One more thing, and then I'm going to pray with you for these gifts. But there's no place in the Bible that says these gifts have ceased. There's entire denominations of churches that believe the gifts no longer are working right now. They say that we don't need them anymore, but only the original apostles needed them the first so many years after Jesus died. And then after they laid the church, the foundation for the church, that we no longer needed those gifts and the gifts have ceased. And this belief is called cessationism, or if you follow this, you might be called a cessationist. It's not founded in the Bible. In fact, I think it's founded in Satan's Bible. I think it is a very satanic thought and ideal. And if I were the devil, I'd do the same thing. I would plant in the church that there's no power left and that really you'd better tuck your tail between your legs and run. But the truth is we have power from on high that's been endowed and blessed to us and that we're supposed to be using. I'm just going to pray right now. I'm praying right now, God, that you would empower everybody who's listening to not be ignorant of the gifts, to just desire the gifts like never before. I pray right now, Holy Spirit, that you would come and bless everyone who's listening right now with a deep desire to learn about the gifts and to use the gifts to be about your work like never before.